You're welcome back. Well, can Africa solve the trade problem within Africa by connecting Africa with global trade? And this is what AfCFTA, that's the African Continental Free Trade Area, is supposed to handle. But how far have we gone with that? We still have a lot of supply chain issues. We talked about, for instance, customs in Nigeria and how they are helping in all of this. Well, let's talk about the supply chain and how to boost activities on the AfCFTA platform with Larry Oti now. He is the founder of Send and joins us virtually. Hi, Larry. Good morning.
Hi, Ini. Thanks for having me.
Good to have you. Yeah. So after we know we celebrated and all of that, but really, how much activity have we had on that platform from Nigeria? We know Ghana seems to be more active on that, but from Nigeria, how active is the AfCFTA platform?
I mean, so far, in terms of like the activity, on the AfCFTA platform, I mean, on the Nigerian side, I don't think, there's been a lot, but it's not really a consequence of, how well it works or how good it is. I think people are still catching on pretty much. And in the coming months and the coming years, is going to definitely pick up more in terms of like folks taking advantage of most of the instruments that have been made available for Africans to trade pretty much.
So the issue of digital innovation to optimize supply chains sometimes just comes across like it's just words put together. How real is it for us?
Oh no, I mean, so I definitely think is an issue, right? Because for one, I think SMEs would really drive the numbers in terms of like intra-African trade. A Nigerian small medium business, knowing that they have a customer, in Botswana, and there's kind of like no friction in making that trade happen. And how digital technology helps with that is with a couple of things. So for one, discovery, right? How are you able to find a buyer or a seller in a country 2-3 borders away from you, in terms of like how you get to move that product from your country to that final customer across maybe say 2-3 countries in your region and outside your region. How are you able to do that like in a cost effective way? And I think technology like helps with that, and it's part of the things we're working at Send. Businesses, small medium businesses who are not used to the complex nature of the supply chain are able to get like on a single platform and take care of like the entire process, just like going through a checklist of what they need to do to get stuff across borders without getting lost in all the regulatory hassles. Also, I think the regulatory agencies, across board, in different countries, also need to keep increasingly, adopting technology, right, and getting rid of, the extra steps that are not like really needed at the process level. The goal is to keep it like super simple, so that it's easy to adopt, it's easy to implement, and everyone is on the same page. And I actually think the AfCFTA Secretariat has done like a nice job, in terms of putting together like the rules of origin based on the instruments of ratification that the member countries have submitted.
All right, Larry, just briefly now, because we're out of time. Recently, World Bank ranked Nigeria's customs low. How much is that deterring activities on the AfCFTA platform?
I mean, I wouldn't so much say deterring. I think there's room to grow. I mean, good thing actually, like this year, customs, I think from a couple of years ago, so customs kind of like had an improvement about 20%. And customs was like the almost single contributor to like the growth, of Nigeria performance in like logistics, on the World Bank Index, right? So I think there's a lot of, I mean, they're doing like an okay job. There's more to do. If you ask me, I'll say a couple of things that like need to be taken care of. I mean, infrastructure for one, I mean, which might not necessarily 100% be in the purview of customs. Then there are a couple of low-hanging fruits that I think, customs and other regulatory agencies, can make happen like, really quick, so things like process, taking away like whatever toll gates exists. And also, I think these agencies are like need to work with like a KPI or like a key metric, not just necessarily for measurement purposes for external bodies, but in the context of how it affects our throughput as a country in terms of like, what comes in and what goes out. and the turnaround time, around all that.
All right, Larry, obviously it looks like we might have to bring you up on the program some other time when we will have more time to talk about some of those things that you've mentioned. But Larry Oti, founder of SEN, thank you so much for your views this morning.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.